supposed psychological advantage to defeat Punk to win the world title once more. Number 3,
That was
Grand
crazy.
Slam scene.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Amaj back at another video. Today we're about to be reacting to another WWE video by WrestleMania, and it's gonna be on times WWE and Triple H cooked in 2025.
10 best WWE booking decisions of 2025. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Number 10, pushing new talent. And one of the highlights of 2025 in WWE has been the breakout of stars such as Dominic Mysterio, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Maxine Dupree. WWE have been forced to push new stars mainly due to an aging main event scene and WWE needing stars for the next decade. The push of Breakker and Reed has been fantastic to witness. Breakker would secure a huge win over CM Punk inside War Games, and he's destined for a world.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like that they have been pushing new talent and making them like the forefront right now, because years ago they made that mistake about like not pushing and building new stars and kept bringing back all the old guys for nostalgic pops. But like it or not, bro, our favorite wrestlers from like 2008 and 2007 are getting old, bro. It's literally just time. You see him Punk, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes is approaching, and then all the other people, John Cena just retired. Like, it's time to build new stars, whether we like it or not. Our childhood is practically almost extinct right now.
Title run at some point in 2026. Reed pinned Roman Reigns on a PLE, and it's easy to see why he's labeled as one of the WWE's best rehires. Dominic Mysterio was also given a lengthy reign as Intercontinental Champion, and he's connecting with the crowd in such a way where a babyface turn is definitely on the horizon. Mysterio would even pin John Cena in Cena's final ever PLE matchup, which was
Man, I think this video was made before WrestleMania put out the news that Dom was like injured. So, oh my God, I hope this nigga can make it like a whole fucking recovery, because man, he was on fire.
a sign that WWE see Mysterio as the future. In relation to Dupree, she's managed to get over via her own accord, and despite in-ring limitations, she's been able to deliver stellar character work, and she's now closing 2025 as reigning Women's Intercontinental Champion. Dupree would defeat Becky Lynch for the title on Raw, and this was a career-defining win. Hopefully, WWE can keep a positive momentum going in the new year. Number 9. Proceed with caution. Naomi is a name that has often been overlooked in WWE, but in 2025, WWE would go all in on the talented star. Naomi would turn heel and embark on a feud with Jade Cargill. This feud over-delivered, with some even claiming that it carried the bill to WrestleMania. Naomi would then be rewarded with a justified Money in the Bank win, and she would successfully cash in the main event of the Evolution 2 PL.
I'm not gonna lie, I was just so happy when Naomi got pushed, because I feel like she's been getting like snubbed for years. But like ever since 2016, like she's been getting like stop start pushes, and it's been really annoying me. Like they haven't put her back in like that main event scene until she finally caught some fire with that heel turn. But yeah, she went off to have her kid, but hopefully when she comes back, I hope Triple H lit a fire under her ass, because he always like makes them come back with no fucking plan.
Fans have been crying out for Naomi to get another chance with a top prize in the women's division, especially after her 2 reigns in 2017 were swamped with issues ranging from an injury to creative hurdles. Sadly, Naomi would be forced to surrender the title due to pregnancy, but WWE giving Naomi the ball was one of their biggest success stories of 2025, and hopefully they take more chances on established talent. Number 8. Bringing back AJ Lee. AJ Lee officially retired from WWE in 2015. A combination of injuries as well as the issues between WWE and her husband CM Punk played a huge factor in her retirement, and for the next decade it looked like AJ would never step foot in a
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Just to have a rider die by your side like AJ Lee, when trouble's afoot. I mean, I know she was already retiring, but she seen what was going on with her husband, CM Punk, and literally took his back and literally made sure that they were good, and make sure she was done with that company at the time.
WWE ring again. However, after Clash in Paris, it was reported that AJ had agreed to return to WWE and that she was going to team with Punk in a mixed tag match versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. When the return went down on SmackDown, she received one of the biggest ovations of the year, and WWE had done the unthinkable in bringing her back into the mix. But if that wasn't big enough, it was then revealed that AJ had signed a full-time deal with WWE, and then she was able to perform inside War Games alongside top stars such as Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. AJ being back in WWE is such a big deal, as she's without a doubt one of the most popular names of all time, and we once again learned to never say never when it comes to potential WWE returns. Number 7. A shock title change. WWE is often accused of playing it safe, especially in the Triple H era. Triple H often prefers to have big title changes on shows such as WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and the idea of a world title changing hands on a random Raw seemed really out of the question for the longest time. However, on the road to WrestleMania, the game did the unthinkable. In a match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title, WWE would have Sky pin Ripley to win the title. Fans were stunned, and this was one of the most exciting decisions WWE made all.
You know what? I was happy for EO during this time. I was like, she won. And I like that WWE kind of switched up the whole little scene of like making them win on like a random Raw. But what he did after that, I know I'm not trying to be negative, but what he did after that, like, made her not really defend against good opponents, like, made her not do anything. She wasn't even featured on a pay-per-view, like, on, like, one of those months, she wasn't even featured on a pay-per-view. Like, that kind of, like, pissed me off. I was like, what you make her champion for if you're not gonna make her do anything?
Year. It massively shook up the women's division and it opened up the door for a classic triple threat matchup at WrestleMania between Sky, Ripley, and Bianca Belair. This type of booking was commonplace during the Attitude Era, as Raw and SmackDown would often see random world title changes. Whilst it's somewhat understandable why the game prefers these changes to go down at big shows, booking a huge title change once in a while makes the live TV product must-see television. Number 6. The US Title Open Challenge. SmackDown has had a messy year in 2025. The shows have failed to hit the mark, and WWE have been accused of abandoning SmackDown and putting all their efforts into Raw. Now, there's definitely some truth in these claims, but one of the overwhelmingly positive outcomes of the Blue brand this year has been the US Title Open Challenges. Elite babyfaces such as Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov have wrestled every week in open challenges. 90% of these matches have been excellent. This has been the highlight of SmackDown on a weekly basis, and fans are urging WWE to continue the open challenge series in 2026. Number 5.
Yeah, I know that that always kicks stuff into a high gear. At this time of this recording, I think I just seen Carmelo Hayes win the U.S. title match. But man, hey, I really want to see SmackDown succeed too because like that's such a classic ass show. If they go to 3 hours, you gotta like put some NXT talent on there because that third hour could be filled by them low key. I know you don't want to take a lot of people off of NXT because they still got to deal with the CW.
The dream pairing. One of the fundamental issues with Charlotte Flair's persona is that she's lacked any personal development. Whether she's a heel or babyface, Flair is basically playing the same character. This has meant that fans have struggled to relate and connect to Flair on a deeper level. Now, this isn't to say that this has impacted Flair's work, as she's remained one of the greatest female stars of all time, but WWE were constantly urged to give Flair some type of character development. Thankfully, this occurred in 2025, as WWE made the decision to pair Flair with Alexa Bliss. The pairing was magic from the moment they first teamed together. They would be presented as a babyface unit, and the pairing allowed Flair to let loose and just have fun. Flair would receive so much love for this pairing that the crowd would heckle her matches with pro-Flair chants, and this often made Flair emotional as she was so shocked by the fan response. The pairing has been such a success that Flair has never been more organically over with the audience, and Flair even states that the pairing with Bliss has been more important to her WWE career than winning the annual Royal Rumble. Number 4.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad like it made like a good like input on her career because for the longest I felt like she was like basically a a Roman Reigns. I mean, well, yeah, like not organically. She tried to get over as a baby face. Like people just did not like her character. People like and respected her skill as a wrestler, but like people didn't like her character at the time because she just kept getting pushed into the main event scene. And as a wrestling fan, that can get really fucking annoying. I know wrestling fans complain a lot, but like that was something to complain about. But I'm glad that she's in good spirits right now, and I'm glad she's getting over, like, organic, well, over organically. Because, man, I always like to see people in good spirits.
The swerve. When Seth Rollins was reportedly injured at Saturday night's main event in the summer, there were rumblings that Rollins' injury was a total work, and he was actually fine. Despite these rumors, reputable wrestling outlets were also claiming the contrary, and they were stating that Rollins is on crutches and was legitimately injured. But then at SummerSlam, once CM Punk won the world title in an epic main event against Gunther, Rollins would crash the proceedings, and it turned out that the injury was one big work designed to trick his arch rivals. Rollins was the active Money in the Bank holder at the time, and he used his supposed psychological advantage to defeat Punk to win the world title once more. Number 3,
That was
Grand
crazy.
Slam Cena. One of the biggest triumphs of John Cena's final active year in WWE was the Intercontinental title win on Raw. This was a title that John Cena needed to win the Grand Slam, and he managed to win it during one of his final ever matches. The title win was reportedly planned for Survivor Series, but WWE would move the win to give fans an incredible moment in Cena's last time ever in Boston. Sadly, Cena's reign as IC champion would be short-lived, as he would drop the title back to Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series in just 20 days. Would it have been nice to see Cena walk into his final match as champion and potentially even retire with the gold? Well, absolutely, but at least we got to see Cena with the one title that has eluded him for his entire career. Number 2, the heel turn.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was glad to see Cena like earn that title because you like unusually seeing Cena with like an Intercontinental Championship. It just doesn't seem right. Like he was always synonymous with the U.S. title and everything else, but except that one. But I'm glad they like let it slide and let that nigga get the last championship.
Now, whilst the heel turn of John Cena didn't live up to expectations, the heel turn itself was ambitious booking that makes wrestling companies thrive. Nobody saw this heel turn coming, and it was an instance of WWE taking a huge swing to gain momentum as they headed into the biggest show of the calendar year. The way the heel turn was executed was perfect, as Cena's facial expressions would completely change, and we knew at that exact moment that something had changed within Cena himself. The match before the heel turn, that being the annual Elimination Chamber match, was also booked extremely well, and Cena would show heel tendencies in this match, such as taking advantage of Seth Rollins' interference, as well as showing no remorse when it came to his STF application. Just great booking. And number 1, the pivot.
Yo, man, hey, that was like pretty good too. And you seeing all those clues and seeing at the end that it really added up, bro. That was like the piece right there, bro. That was like a chef's kiss right there, bro. Thank God they actually did that. It was like a pretty good tribute to his little tour, even though it kind of ended weird.
Speaking of John Cena's disastrous heel run, perhaps the best booking call of 2025 was WWE's call to pivot on the heel turn. Randomly on SmackDown, the old babyface Cena appeared, and it was almost as if the heel turn had never happened. This made little sense and lacked continuity, but it was badly needed. Cena was running out of dates, and fans were urging WWE to turn Cena back into a babyface before he retires. At SummerSlam, the old presentation was back with Cena, and he was suddenly wrestling like it was 2015 again. Cena would then go on to have classic matches against the likes of Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, and this was an instance of WWE listening to the fans to try and entertain the audience as best we can. Sometimes it involves taking risks and being bold. You also have to listen to the audience. It got to a point where Cena versus Randy Orton, you start hearing cheers. Cena versus CM Punk and Saudi, you start hearing the noise. Cena and Cody Rhodes WrestleMania, Cena Cody SummerSlam, it changes. Sometimes you make the bold and brave new moves, but going against this body of energy is a losing battle. Sometimes you
Yeah, that's true. I'm not gonna lie. You don't want to like boo Cena, especially when you know this is probably like your last year seeing John Cena, and you're just like booing him, and you don't want to. So I kind of get like, and I kind of like give him that, like saying like, like not really acting like the audience is stupid and acknowledging that.
just gotta listen and pivot, change course. Now, this was the perfect explanation to explain the turn, and it was appreciated that Cena was so open and honest about why WWE went down this particular creative path. But there you have it, folks, 10 of the best WWE.
Yeah, man. Hey, this was a good compilation by WrestleMania, but like I kind of acknowledge and like get like why he really did the pivot, because nobody wants to boo you and nobody wants to do that. But yeah, they did a lot of good things this year, and I'm not trying to like be the little downer by like mention what they did, but I'm gonna just give this video like a good praise. But hey, if y'all want to see new WWE videos, then let me know, and we on the road to 250.